Lost foam casting process. Production principle of LFC. First of all, white foam models are made according to requirements of the product design. Second, after dipping with refractory coatings and drying, models are embedded into specially designed sandboxes with dry sand to carry out three-dimensional solid molding and molten liquids pouring under vacuum state. Then models are gone because of gasification with the molten liquid replaced. Thus, qualified castings are produced. White area of LFC is used to make white foam models through pre-foaming, ripening, molding. Cutting and bonding raw materials includes STMMA, EPMMA, and other expandable foam materials. Take the commonly used EPS beads as example. EPS beads characteristic: semi-transparent, performing rate 40 to 60 times, bead diameter 0.18 to 0.80 millimeters, 6 different sizes. Generally, original beads diameter should be less than 1/9 to 1/10 or equal to 1/9 to 1/10 of the minimum wall thickness of the castings. Raw material pre-foaming follows right bead selection. Before fed into mold, EPS beads need to be pre-expanded to a certain size. The pre-foaming process determines the density, dimension accuracy, and stability of the models. There are mainly two kinds of equipment for EPS bead pre-foaming: electric steam pre-foaming machine and pure steam pre-foaming machine, both of which are equipped with the most advanced PLC technology. Pre-foamed EPS beads are placed in a dry and ventilated silo for a certain period of time, making inside and outside of beads pressure balanced, optimizing the elasticity and the expandability, and removing water on the bead's surface then to curing storage hoppers through automatic feeding system. After curing ripening, EPS beads are fed into lost foam mold cavity by pressure feeding system and heated, so that the beads are expanded again and fused together, filling the cavity and forming a smooth surface. Models should be cooled and settled before ready. After modeling, there should be enough time for models drying and stabilization. The white model is wet on the surface and contains moisture inside, so it must be thoroughly dried. There are mainly two types of forming equipment: hydraulic forming machines and screw forming machines. The lost foam mold die is made of aluminum alloy and designed according to different product structures, model cutting and bonding. Modeling products may only be part of the model or initial from ink blanks, which need further processing, such as cutting and bonding. This process is to combine multiple white foam models with gating and riser models by lost foam special glue to make model clusters, mainly used to brush special coatings on white model clusters and to dry in drying rooms. The main functions of coatings in LFC are to insulate metal liquids and models, to discharge model gasification waste gas, to ensure surface quality of castings, to improve the strength and stiffness of models, and to prevent damage or deformation of the models to a certain extent. This requires the coating to be air permeable, fireproof coating suspension adhesive in order to reduce the defects on castings, such as blowholes, sand burning, so as to ensure the rate of finished products generally. There are generally 4 methods for coating and hanging, brushing, dipping, sprinkling, and spraying. According to the characteristics of different models, several methods can be applied comprehensively in actual production. After coating, models are moved to drying rooms with 45 to 55 degrees centigrade, circulating hot air for drying. During drying, models should be placed reasonably and supported to prevent deformation. At the meantime, temperature and humidity should be strictly controlled to get thoroughly dry out. After thoroughly dried, model clusters are ready for pouring. Black area processing is the stage of solid casting. Dry model clusters are placed in sand boxes. Special dry sand is fed to sand boxes by movable shower feeding machine for molding. Molten liquid is poured negative under pressure state. Models gasified with molten liquids replaced. Models gasified with molten liquids replaced. Thus, qualified castings are produced. The black area of the lost foam casting process is to replace white foam models with molten iron and form castings. There are 3 steps: vibration molding, casting replacement, fin sand treatment. The molding station adopts a vibration platform combined with a shower sand feeding machine for molding. Sandbox is moved to position under sand store copper. The rain shower sander adds bottom sand to the sandbox. After the bottom sand is added, the model cluster is put into the sandbox, and the rain shower sander again to add sand to the flat gate position. During the whole sand filling process, the vibration table keeps vibrating to ensure molding. Sand is filled to hollow sections around foam model clusters. After vibration completed, adding sand to the surface and covering plastic films, finished molding. Lower the vibrating table, reposition the sandbox onto the track, and use a hydraulic box pushing machine to push the sandbox away from the molding station under the sand storage hopper for the next box molding. After molding, sandboxes are moved to the pouring section one by one. This section is equipped with negative pressure automatic button joint machine. When pouring, EPS model is vaporized under the heat of liquid metal. The gasified gas enters negative pressure system through the coating and molding sand. Liquid metal continuously occupies the position of EPS model and occurs the replacement process of liquid metal and EPS model. Finally, qualified castings are formed. After pouring, the castings need to be cooled down for a certain time in sandbox, then be turned over out of box. Automatic turnover machine is used to separate castings from molding sand. Molding sand goes to sand treatment system, while castings go to shot blasting machine to remove surface coating. Sand treatment system is a very important production process of LFC. Molding sand after box turnover is primarily cooled by water cooling sand shakeout machine. Then it is separated from casting residue and sundries by screening conveyor. The screening conveyor is equipped with air cooling system, which could reduce sand temperature quickly and efficiently. The residue is taken out by the slag lifting machine while the molding. Sand is lifted by elevator to sand temperature regulator for major cooling. After all these processes, the sand is transferred to store copper for production. In Thewel sand treatment system, each node uses dust collector, removal dust from production process. On the one hand, this helps production be clean and pollution-free. On the other hand, the dust in the molding sand is removed, which improves the air permeability of the sand and reduces casting defects thanks to advanced PLC technology. The whole process is equipped with sand temperature control, automatic temperature regulation, and frequency modulation to finalize sand screening, dust removal, and cooling so that molding sand can be recycled. In Thewel sand treatment system, each node uses dust collector. The commonly used equipment in dust removal system is pulse bag type dust removal, which mainly deals with the dust treatment of each node in LFC sand treatment system. Guoning Company has also developed exhaust gas treatment system, which is mainly used to purify the benzene compound gas produced by the white model gasification during pouring. It uses adsorption-desorption catalytic combustion and so on to purify the exhaust gas, to meet clean production and environmental requirements, and to guarantee smooth production.